see both sides together. Usually we see it in Vegas, and in Vegas, maybe one of the two championships is already settled, so there's not as much, I would say, energy. You know, we wait all year to see which side's better, but I like where they put this round this year because we're seeing two championships that are still in play, so guys are going to be bringing everything they got, and I'm excited to see if Osborne and Faulkner, I mean, we've seen some really fast speed from them in the last few weeks. Well, how will that match up against the guys we saw early? And initially, what's your first thought for these West Coast guys after coming off a 5-week break, coming right out here to a very, very difficult and sticky Indianapolis track?
Well, you're seeing it right now. Aaron Plessinger right behind the man who's sitting right behind him in the points. He just splits those whoops, and I wouldn't be surprised if these guys start getting into it. But maybe a little rust, especially for Adam Cianciarulo. I saw him go down twice in that free practice. Unusual, too, right? Where we're seeing Aaron Plessinger, Adam Cianciarulo went down twice. But, you know, a lot of guys, and I talked to Aaron, asked him, you know, what have you been doing? He says, we've been doing a lot of outdoor testing. So a lot of these guys have been outdoor riding. I'm sure they've been on the Supercross track now for the last couple weeks at least. But
Plessinger said he's got about a week and a half back on Supercross. He said he felt like riding on some of the bigger tracks, opening things up, you know, riding some motocross tracks, helped him get his speed back.
Just talked about.
As I'm talking about Aaron and complimenting what he told me, he goes down right there. But you got to remember, with Cianciarulo going down.
To me on that, he didn't turn the throttle on. He was in the rut. He didn't turn the throttle on.
And I can only imagine for these guys, it might take a session or two before they really find that comfort, and that's going to be the key. You know, it's tough coming off of a break. You know, they don't have those emotions that you feel on race day. They've been gone for a few weeks, so it takes a little bit of time to get it out of your system. And for them, I'm assuming he's going to want to get it out of his system quick. A little fall like this and get back to going fast. And
he had to reach down and find neutral. He couldn't find it with his boots, so he reached down. You see some of the concrete in that. We just saw Joey Savacci and Adam Cianciarulo. Some of the concrete coming through already.
That is in that first corner. You can see the guys trying to find different lines. And Joey Savacci with a 48.1. He is the fastest so far in that session. And I can imagine that's going to change. Remember, the guys were in the 45s in the East. And we'll kind of monitor that and see how these guys match up against the East Coast guys. But again, take into consideration, these guys are getting onto the track the way the East Coast guys left it. But to be fair, Osborne, I think he put his fastest lap down with about 3 or 4 minutes left, so he did it somewhat late in the session. And,
yeah, but not early like these guys. I mean, these guys want to.
They're going to take some time.
A couple laps to get, you know, into the flow of thing, get that heart rate up. There's that section after the whoops. We're on board now with Joey Savacci. Let's watch him. Let's take a lap with Joey. That's that first turn. That's that double. There's those ruts where we saw Plessinger go down the whoops. Starting to get a little bit ruts going through there. And after you come out of there, that's that 65-foot triple. And this is where I thought maybe someone could triple in, but it looks like it's going to be a double-double, little wall jump double there across the starting line. Into the left-hander, it's double through there, double again, double, triple into that corner. And then up and over the Monster Energy finish line, and this is where you got a little step up, down, and then the whoops go down.
Well, that time right there, 46.8 from Joey Savacci, puts him #1 on the board. So they are starting to get those times down, still in the 46s. As it sits, Savacci, Plessinger, Cianciarulo, McElrath section are your top 5. About halfway through this first qualifier. And let's talk about Chase Sexton a little bit. You got to remember, last year he showed up on the East Coast, got hurt in Atlanta, so wasn't able to really even start his rookie year. He started it this year and has a pretty good season going so far.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's sitting in a good spot right now. He loves it. He's having a great time this year. And, you know, in talking with him, those finishes that he had, you know, right now he's sitting third in the points. I mean, I'm sorry, he got third at the last round that we saw in San Diego, which was a great ride for him. That was back on February 10th.
We'll see how he picks it up here as he gets back on track, but it's Adam Cianciarulo who we're watching now. He sits third in the session with a 47.0, and he's on a hot lap right now. We saw him cross the finish line. It's been pretty much wide open since then. We'll see if he can. There it is, Jim. You called it, the 3-1. You know what? He did that pretty easy, too.
Yeah. I was waiting for that. I mean, I hadn't seen him do it, but let's see if this will beat that 46.8. This is where I saw him crash. Now, that's a nice triple there. Let's see. He's coming over. He should go to the top.
There it is, 46.2
Yeah.
from Adam Cincerello, the fastest in the session now by over a half a second. Savachi, Plessinger, Sexton, McElrath are your top 5 with about 4 minutes left in 250 West Coast qualifier number 1. And for Cincerello, you got to imagine he's ended his West Coast campaign a little frustrated. He really had things going in San Diego and then had that battle with Justin Hill. They went back and forth in one of the better races we've seen this year. And for Cincerello, he's just been so close. The speed has not been an issue. It's just been putting it all the way together. And you can imagine that over the break, the 5-6 week break, he did a lot of work and probably a lot of studying and a lot of thinking about how he can tighten things up, because I know this guy wants to win, and he's very, very close.
You said something right there, studying and thinking. If I was with him, I'd say, hey, look, don't overthink nothing. I mean, you got this. I mean, you got the speed, everything, and he's due for a win and could be here tonight in that showdown. You never know. He's sitting 4th in the points. He's 17 points down right now. And like you said, that battle in San Diego with Hill, he finished up 2nd. He knows he's fast.
You know, Jim, early in the season, we watched Chase Sexton have a pretty strong breakout first 5-6 rounds. And I can only imagine that someone like Austin Faulkner, who is on the other coast, is watching a guy that he grew up with and raced with and probably saw that motivated him to take it to his next level, which he did. Austin Faulkner obviously getting 2 wins and battling for a championship. But now let's reverse that. Now we have Chase Sexton, who has watched Austin Faulkner get 2 wins. Does that motivate him to take the next step? Obviously, these guys are racing against different guys, so it's not 100% fair, but I can imagine 2 rookies coming in, or not rookies, but 2 guys around the same age who battled it out in their youth. They watch the other one's success, and I got to imagine it motivates them.
Well, it does motivate him, but here's the thing about it. You talk about those rookies. This is a rookie season for him. This is all new for him, this showdown that we have. Something that we haven't really talked about too much. His times, he's sitting around about 5th right now, a 47.0, but that's Shane McElrath. This is a race that Shane's got experience in these type of racing. He could possibly win this thing here tonight. You know, there's so many guys that can win this thing.
Well, Ken said it in the opening, it's someone usually pops up and surprises you in a race like this. You know, a lot of the attention right now is on Osborne and Plessinger. They're your 2 points leaders. But it could be a Sexton, a McElrath, a Kyle Peters, someone like that gets a good start, gets out front. Yeah. When these guys get together, I think they let the energy and the hype of the race get to them sometimes. And you see a lot of mistakes made, and it's the rider who maybe isn't expected to win it comes out and wins it.
Right.
And for Chase Sexton, hey, why not? I mean, he's sitting number 1 on the board now as of last lap with a 45.8. Yeah. He's your fastest West Coast guy as it sits, and I mean, the guy he's talented. We've seen it so far early in the year, and he's only had more time to develop and mature.
Oh, no, absolutely. You know one guy that should be here racing that's not, and I talked to him, but he listens to our show, Alex Martin. He's in Florida, and I talked to him. He says, hey, I listen to Race Day Live all the time, so I just wanted to give him a little shout out and tell him hi. And also Cole Seeley's listening in. I want to wish him well. Yeah, right now, Chase Sexton, I mean, just on fire. 45.8. Wow.
If you're Alex Martin, who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for your teammates, Jordan Smith and Shane McElrath, or your brother, Jeremy Martin?
I don't know. I'll have to call him and ask him.
Yeah, I'd like to know too.
Maybe he can text in. Just text me.
Yeah, Alex,
who you rooting for, Alex,
you got my number. Text me right now. I'd like to know
who you rooting for.
Who you rooting for? Are you rooting for Jordan, Shane, or Jeremy?
I would have a tendency to say he's probably rooting for his brother because, like I said, I think Indy owes his brother one because there's been a couple of times that he hasn't made that main event that he should have been in the main event.
Let's watch Aaron Plessinger as he attempts a fast lap. He sits 2nd right now. Look at that. Table over 2 singles, triple out. It's the first time we've seen that.
Yeah.
And the way he did it right there with such confidence, I don't think that was his first time. That was way too clean.
And remember back to last year when he was on the West Coast there. No, he just nailed that. He's not on a heater now. He just did that. He's got it in his pocket. He ain't showing anybody any more of that. Okay, I'm good. Maybe the next qualifier we'll see. But Remember that triple that he did after the start in Seattle? He was the only one doing that.
And he did it every lap.
And he can do that. That's where he's dangerous at.
Well, and where he's dangerous is as the track breaks down and as the track becomes more and more of an issue, for whatever reason, it just doesn't with him. He's just one of those guys that adapts quickly. And Chase Sexton right now, as they said, he's the rider who has figured this thing out better than anyone. He's got a 45.8. He's your fastest on the West. Aaron Plessinger, Adam Cincerello, Joey Savacci, Shane McElrath, your top 5 in this West Coast qualifier number 1. And remember, on the next session, the West and East will flip. We'll see the West Coast first, see if those guys can cut that times a little bit more, but they did get themselves into the 45s, and that is Sexton and Plessinger. Great start to the day for the rookie Chase Sexton.